Welcome back to the Hour Back Report. This is episode 9. I'm Jordan, joined by Jack and Jamie. Boys, how we doing today?
Fellas, boys can't lose, so we're doing good.
Yeah, they're humming right now, and only one of us said that they were going to go 3-0. So here's my victory lap. A little round of applause for me. Celtics go 3-0 during this past week with the baked-in win of the game against the Wizards. And I guess to a degree, the Lakers game too, without Luka or LeBron, was kind of like a programmed win for the Celtics. But then they went into Toronto and beat the Raptors. I know RJ Barrett didn't play, but like again, the Celtics don't have Tatum. Sorry, but RJ Barrett's not as good. And depending on who you ask, Luka's not as good either. It's just if you ask me.
Or me.
Or yeah. Jamie, you want to make that a 3 for 3?
Yeah, I support it.
All right, word. So yeah, if you ask any of us, Luka's not better than Tatum either. And then it's the Wizards, right? So we enter today with the Celtics at 15-9, and are they still third in the Eastern Conference? They're second in the Atlantic. It's things are starting to look good. Things are starting to look good for our boys. 15-6 since starting 0-3. And Jack, I'll kick it to you first. You know, what are some of the things that you've been seeing, not even necessarily in these last 3 games, but over the course of the last, couple weeks for the Celtics that are, you think, signifying their recent run of success?
Well, I think there's 2 big things. And the first one is all these athletic wings that we can just throw at teams that have been really stepping up. And when you kind of have at least one of Walsh or Minot or Gonzalez being thrown at teams and playing really hard on defense and just kind of bringing energy, you can fake a lot in the NBA is the thing. Like in a playoff series, generally the better team is going to win. But over the course of a regular season, like you can like be better than your talent level just by playing hard. And this team has been doing a lot of that and has a lot of players who are just playing like maniacs. And I like that. And then the other thing that, like, over the past, especially week and a half, Derrick White is good at basketball again, which was inevitable. I was not going to write Derrick off, and I don't think any of us here were going to do so after the start of the season. But he's started to look like Derrick White again on both ends, who, when Derrick White is Derrick White, he's like a top 35 player in the league or so. And getting him playing at that level is huge because without Tatum, you're going to need him to play at a very high level because he is your second best player. So just having White playing well and having all these guys who are just cycling in and giving you really good competitive minutes and hustling their asses off in a weak Eastern Conference, you can fake it till you make it a little bit.
Yeah, I think at this point, it's just about, you're again just surviving until Tatum. I shouldn't say surviving. Like they're surviving and they're thriving right now. But until Tatum comes back, it's just a matter of, like you said, kind of throwing these dudes at the opposition, kind of overwhelming them. Like I still don't think there's any kind of respect for Jordan Walsh across the league. It's kind of more after the fact. Like Austin Reeves was raving about Jordan Walsh after the Celtics gave them belt to ass on Friday, and said that he could see Jordan Walsh being one of the best defenders in the league for a long time. And just out of sheer activity, I tend to agree with him. Obviously a little bit of bias as a fellow bald Jordan. But to your point as well, Jack, Derrick White's shooting 42% from 3 in his last 7 games. He's at a 50, 40, 90 splits, averaging 22, 5 and 5 in that span. The Celtics are 6-1 in those games. They go, it's not shocking. They go as Derrick goes. If Derrick's bad, the Celtics are generally not very good. If he's good, Celtics win. Plain and simple. Jamie, what are some of your thoughts on, this recent stretch of play for the C's?
I think for me, the depth. I mean, we talked about, but Jordan Walsh has been really good against the Wizards. He was, I think, 8 for 8. He's scoring. He's getting rebounds. Even Hugo too. He had 14 against the Wizards. Against the Lakers, no, he only took 2 shots. He made both of them. And I feel like we don't, we've talked about we don't have Tatum. You need those guys to step up. And it's good to see with both Walsh and Gonzalez being kind of high picks, seeing Walsh is taking a little bit, but he's really coming into his own. Hugo's been good, and they're going to survive without Tatum. You need them to do that. It's good to see White dropping 30 again, but the depth I think has really stood out, and against like good teams, it's like beating up on bad teams, but the depth guys are also doing good against against good teams, which is nice to see.
Yeah, I think they're back on the podium where they belong. Like they were always going to be a good enough team to make the playoffs. And I feel like I say this every single episode. Like they weren't going to be bad enough to get a top 5 pick. It was just like somebody was going to have to get seriously injured, and knock on wood, like that still, I guess, could always happen, but knock on wood that it doesn't. They're just too talented to be bad. And you've an all NBA player in Jalen, a fringe all-star in Derrick White. In the Eastern Conference, that's good enough to win you 50 games. And they're on pace to do it again. And Joe Mazzulla has really cemented himself as a top 5 coach in the league, probably even top 3 in the league, just because the expectations, he's been navigating with one center for the last 2 weeks, and it's actually benefited them to stop trying to create center depth and just recreate it in the aggregate with athletic wings who can jump out of the gym and get rebounds, and not put unathletic guys like Luka Garza on the floor or Xavier Tillman. No shade to my guy X, but again, oldest 26-year-old ever. But yeah, I mean, it was a good week for the C's, and they've won 5 in a row now. So, up to 15-9, got some separation over the over 500. They're still only 2 games up on Atlanta for the 9 seed, so it's not like they're safe, but they're where they belong. And they put this question up on the pregame show the other day, who the second best team in the East is. I'm still inclined to believe it's the Knicks, but I'm curious if where you guys sit on that. What do you think, Jack?
Well, are we under the impression that Jayson Tatum doesn't exist in this conversation, or is this when Jayson Tatum exists?
Well, I think the conversation is more so who will be the 2 seed at the end of the season. So, we're operating under the assumption that Tatum is gone until he's back. Really, we're not pretending he doesn't exist, but we are taking into account that he doesn't for the foreseeable future.
Then, yeah, I would gun to my head say the Knicks. I don't feel great about it because I think the East is just so weird and confusing at the moment that it could really be anyone. But yeah, I would say it's the Knicks. I mean, the thing is with the Knicks is they've been incredible at Madison Square. They've only lost 1 game there all season. So as long as they keep playing out of their minds at home, they're going to be dangerous, and they're going to have home court for most of the playoffs, probably in the Eastern Conference picture. We'll see if a Giannis thing ends up happening and what they'd have to give up in order to do so. And that might not make them better this year, depending on how much they have to give up. That might almost be like the Luka thing, where you're kind of giving up on this year to get a top 5 player, depending on how many assets they have to move. But also the East is bad, so maybe just having Giannis will be good enough. But yeah, I think right now it's the Knicks, but it could be anyone, because I'm not in love with how any team in particular is playing outside of Oklahoma City, and they're in the West.
I will say, though, the East has actually been a better conference this year so far than the West.
Sure.
Well, at least from a team, looking at the teams in the playoff picture, the top 9 seeds all have a winning percentage of at least 560 in the East, and only 7 teams have a winning percentage of at least 560 in the West. I'm not saying that the quality of team, the roster, is better on these teams, but at least from a wins and losses standpoint, the East has been more competitive, not just from a it's not just like the top teams are good and the rest of the teams are kind of kicking the shit out of each other.
For sure. But I also
14 and
struggle
11
to
is the 9
see,
seed.
yeah, I just struggle to see a team that's not the Celtics with Tatum that can conceivably win a championship that's in the East at the moment versus in the West. There's, the two clear teams with Oklahoma City and Denver. And I could at least probably talk myself into like Houston versus in the East. Like it would be hard. Like the Knicks would probably be the second choice behind the Celtics with Tatum. But even then, like I'd have to really convince myself that a team with a tiny guard like Jalen Brunson and a center who plays no defense with Cat can actually beat one of these elite Western Conference teams. Like that would be a big ask.
You're completely like, where do you put the Pistons in that run? Like, where do you think like the Pistons are the 1 seed right now, but they're only 2 games up on the Knicks. So like, are you still operating under the assumption that the Pistons are going to be the 1 seed when you're talking about this?
No, I think the Knicks are the 1 seed when the season's over.
And where do you think do the Pistons like really fall, or do you think
the Pistons are like, I think the top 4 in some order will be New York, Detroit, Cleveland, Boston. I think Cleveland's going to get hot and they're going to get back up there. They're too talented and too well coached not to be. So I think Cleveland's going to get hot. But it's like, I look at any of those teams, it's like, I can't convince myself that any of those teams as currently comprised, because obviously trades are going to be made, there could be buyouts, and then obviously the Celtics are going to get Tatum back. But it's like, I would really find it difficult to convince myself any of those teams could beat Oklahoma City or Denver in a 7-game series.
Yeah, I don't even know if you gave them a 2-0 head start if they could beat Oklahoma City at least in a 7-game series, because they don't lose. Who beat them? I don't even remember who beat them.
I don't either.
It was so long ago. They've won 15 in a row, and they're about to have won 16 in a row.
Portland. So
Portland
they fear Drew Holiday.
Fair enough. The 9-15 Portland Trailblazers are the only team to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in the Big 2-5.
They better hope they don't win the play-in tournament.
Yeah, it's true. Only team that can beat them in a 7-game series is Scoot Henderson and Drew Holiday and Donovan Clingan. Welcome to the NBA. That'd be hilarious. Like they win 74 games, losing 5 to the Blazers.
Drew goes off.
Drew has like a legacy series. He's averaging like 38 and 8. He's a little LeBron-esque run.
Yeah. Too bad his Twitter likes aren't public anymore, because if he was doing that, oh my God.
Yeah, imagine how horny he'd be on the timeline. Crazy. That'd be absolutely crazy.
It's kind of funny that like Derrick White kept going to all those Sox games last year, because like Drew Holiday would have fit right in the dugout.
Yeah.
That's true.
Did Drew ever show up at Fenway?
Not to my knowledge. Well, I think when the whole team came after the championship, I believe he was there.
Interesting. He would have loved Lucas Giolito. Oh my God. That'd have been such a fun duo. They're about the same height too, so rare for Drew Holiday to see somebody eye to eye. Jamie, I never got your answer to that question. Who do you think is the second? Actually, we'll expand the question to the second part of what I asked Jack. But like, how do you think those top 4 seeds are shaking out?
I think we'll be Detroit, Boston, Cavs, and Knicks. If I was here right now without Tatum, I would put the Knicks number 2. But if the Celtics, if Walsh, if everyone's still humming when Tatum comes back, I'd probably put the Celtics as number 2. But I think it's be that top 4, and then with the switch, I'd probably go Knicks, Celtics, Pistons, and Cavs. If Tatum is back and everyone's still rolling like they are.
I'm curious, like it's tough to answer. I feel like it's tough to answer this question and not necessarily fair to ask it on December 10th because Tatum's still 2 months away. But if he were coming back tomorrow, who are you throwing on the bench? because it's hard. It's to me, it's difficult to put Walsh on the bench right now. Just the way he plays, and like Tatum can be the primary ball handler, and like so for me, it's honestly Pritchard for me, and like it's that's not fair because Pritchard's been awesome, but like I don't know. I mean, I sometimes think we can get a little carried away with plus minus and certain things like, oh, record since so and so's been in the starting lineup, but they are 9-2 when Jordan Walsh starts. And it's not like he just is starting and they're winning. Like he is contributing. I don't know how you can just be like, yeah, Jordan, you go come off the bench now. But also maybe that fits him better because then he can foul as he darn well pleases and it doesn't really hamstring the C's all that much. But Jamie, who's coming out of the lineup? Hey, could also be Nemi. Like that could be, you could go super small and make Tatum the 5 or Jordan Walsh the 5. That'd be fun. That would be actually, you know what? No, that's kind of what I want. Now that's what I want. I changed my mind. I want Nemi coming off the bench. What do you think?
I'd probably do Pritchard just because I feel like he's obviously been the 6th man before and he's thrived in that role. He probably wouldn't be loved at first, but I feel like it's not like you're putting him in a role he's never done before. And I just feel like with the way Walsh is playing, I just like can't see them, like taking him out and being like, you've surpassed all expectations, been one of our best players the last couple weeks. Now you're going back to the bench. I feel like with Pritchard, it's like you've had that role before. He's been a baller doing it. It would be a little more natural, even if it's like obviously he's not happy with it at first.
Yeah, although you do still have Anthony Simons in this scenario because you're not trading him in the next 24 hours.
Yeah,
but I don't know. So maybe Jordan Walsh would make sense still to come off the bench because he doesn't need the ball to be effective, and he crashes the glass, which really helps with Anthony Simons' shot chucking tendencies. But Jack, what do you think? Oh,
yeah,
go ahead, Jamie. Go ahead, Jamie.
I said, what if you solve that by doing Simons for Giannis in that 24 window straight up?
Hey,
much to think about.
You never know.
Saying.
And then Giannis comes off the bench.
Yeah, then Giannis comes off the bench because we do the whole like 10-year gimmick. You're the newest Celtics, so therefore you have to earn your right to play in the lineup. That would be honestly though, that'd be such a Joe thing to do. Like he would troll so hard and be like, "Oh, we got Giannis. He's the 7 man."
Oh, the memes
like,
would
he's
be.
Not even the first. Yeah, he's not even the first guy off the bench.
The potential there is extraordinary.
Yeah. Giannis is a great quote as well. He's not as psychotic. He would also love the Celtics because that is another horny man, Giannis Antetokounmpo. But anyway, he'd bring the ring bell for a BJ bell to Fenway Park. Anyway, Jack, who's going to the bench in this hypothetical?
Yeah. If it was immediate, I think it would have to be Walsh because I think Pritchard and Simons are, basically the same thing except Pritchard's better. And so like having them both off the bench, it just gets redundant. Now, like if a Simons trade like immediately presented itself, be it, a Clippers thing involving Zubac or a Nets thing involving Claxton or wherever a deal could happen, then maybe I could be talked into moving Pritchard back into that role. But I think as currently comprised, you put Walsh on the bench and he's still playing a lot of minutes and you're still throwing Walsh and Minot and Gonzalez at guys because it then, especially over the course of a long season, it lets you like rest Tatum in back-to-backs. He can have nights off. It lets you keep everyone fresh. Ideally Tatum and Brown and even Derrick don't have to play as many minutes as we generally rely upon them for, because you know what? Like if these guys can bring energy and hustle off the bench and you can get away with, a few less minutes than you generally would get out of these guys, so be it, because all that really matters is once you hit the postseason and like, as long as they are like a top 4 seed, like this team is not going to be obsessed over their win-loss record at the end of the day. Like any success this year is gravy. So like, if it keeps everyone fresh, it keeps everyone fresh. But I think it would be Pritchard, White, Jalen, Jayson, Kada.
Yeah, this season, like, really, like, to your point, it's winning is almost it's still secondary. It's just nice to see, like, for me, Jalen being as good as he is as a number one is awesome. Like, that's super cool. That I had my reservations about him being a number one. Like, even a few episodes ago, it was like, yeah, he's scoring a lot and he's doing so efficiently, but he's not doing the other things. He's been doing the other things lately. Like, he's defending very well, he's rebounding, he's getting, he's getting some blocks here and there. He's also facilitating the ball a lot. It's been great to see Jalen kind of take that step because, I mean, it was kind of unfair to presume that there wouldn't be any growing pains and that Jalen would just naturally either sink or swim as a number one, but he's really turned into one. And then also just learning that maybe Brad Stevens knows how to draft is a huge development, because if you're not going to tank, and it's crazy because Brad has such a tanking centers rotation, but he's a demon at identifying wings. And unfortunately / fortunately, he's a demon at identifying wings, because even Baylor's playing well. I mean, Baylor's not playing as well as Ugo or Jordan Walsh, but he's playing well in the minutes he's getting for the most part. Like, he's making shots. He's active on the defensive end, and he's not a complete butcher. They actually give him the ball sometimes. Like, last year, it felt like when he played, it was 5-on-4. This year, it actually feels like he's part of the offense, even if he's not, getting the assist or shooting the ball. It's just nice to see that maybe Brad can draft. Let's maybe try a center next year. But
well, one thing that, and I forget who it was that said this, but I remember like some analyst a few years ago was talking about how, like, if they were a GM, like, or like had like control over a team, they would basically never draft a center. And they were like, I would just only draft guards and wings because they're so much easier to identify that talent. Like, bigs bust at such a higher rate compared to guards and wings. And I would rather just go sign a big in free agency or trade for a guy who I like identify almost like a Kada, where like this guy is talented and has potential, but is on another team that we can get cheaply, versus trying to throw darts at a big man, unless it's like a can't miss kind of guy. Like, it's just a much better bet trying to get guards and wings. And I've always found that interesting.
But even to your point, now that I think about it, like, Jahlil Okafor was a can't miss big, and he sucked.
Total.
Like, Cat's, I mean, I don't want to say Cat's only as good as he is because he can shoot, but him being able to shoot is like a big reason he's a superstar.
Yeah.
And like, if he was just a post player, he wouldn't be we'd be looking at his draft selection being like, he was probably like really the 4th or 5th best player in the draft, not the first. And then to your point as well, like, you see these random bigs every year turn into like actual, like, pretty decent players. Like, last year, Jay Huff randomly became good for Memphis. And like, he's still okay. I think he's starting a little bit for Indiana. That's another dude that I'm like kind of eyeballing as a potential Celtic. I mean, because he shot 40% from 3 last year. He's down to 32% this year. But that's another big on my radar. Unless they're going big, like, unless they're going like top of the market for Zubats, which they would have to, I think, to make salaries work. Jay Huff is somebody that's kind of on my radar. He's shooting the ball better of late as well. But yeah, I guess you're right. Going the undrafted route or second round pick route on a big, but also if you draft a dude at like 25, if they suck, are they really a bust? Because I feel like every year when we're talking about the draft, it's like there's 10 dudes that are actually good, and then the rest you're like kind of hoping are rotation pieces. Although it's not always a guarantee that the top 10 are the 10 good players.
Right.
But the Celtics like low key have a really good history drafting outside the top 20.
They do.
Like Sullinger was a good pick.
Pritchard, Time Lord.
Yeah. Grant was 18, I think, right? So like close enough. And then like we're seeing Walsh was a 2nd-round pick, but he was like a consensus top 25 at least athlete in the draft. I don't know. It's nice to see that it shouldn't be as shocking, but because how bad Walsh and Baylor looked in spurts the last couple of years, it made it seem like Brad can't draft. But this man coached at Butler and had to recruit guys to Butler. Like he's used to finding diamonds in the rough. And he's done it again. I dare I say, like Ugo shooting 47% from 3. That's crazy.
Next, Curry.
Better actually. He's fun. I like him. Maybe it's just the Kool-Aid of him being a Celtic, and I'd be so unimpressed if he was on another team. But like when he comes into the game, I feel the energy of him coming into the game. I'm like, oh, sick! I get to watch Ugo sprint at dudes and like clearly foul guys, but get the superstar no call. It's fun. I enjoy watching Ugo. He also looks like he's 12.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I feel like every time I go on ESPN and look at the picture they have, I'm like, that looks like a 10-year-old.
He should be in Stranger Things. He should be playing one of the high schoolers in Stranger Things.
He looks much younger than Millie Bobby Brown.
He does. He really does, though. I mean, he is also younger than Millie Bobby Brown.
What?
But like 2 years. But yeah, he's a baby face. He looks younger than Holly Wheeler in season 5. And that's a 13-year-old. So anyway, not to reignite the rant that I was going on before we started recording about Stranger Things, but yeah, Celtics go 3-0 this week. It's fun. It's a fun time to be a Celtics fan. We enjoy it. The beauty of no expectations.
Hey, coach of the year for Joe.
I mean, right now he's got to be towards the top, right?
Yeah,
at least top 5.
Probably top. He's probably. I mean, who would be ahead of him? Like the Thunder, as dominant as they've been, maybe not expected to be almost 24-1 by the time.
They hate to give it to the same guy 2 years in a row, though. They like
and they just won the title. Like if they're the best team in the league, that's not shocking.
Yeah, if the Pistons hold on to the 1 seed, it could be Bickerstaff. Like I could see that.
Would they give it to Mike Brown as well? He's already a 2-time coach of the year, so win it for 3 different teams. Has that ever been done?
Probably. I was going to say, would that be a record?
That can't have. There's no way that's been done. Like Phil Jackson's definitely done it for 2.
Yeah.
Like there's no way he didn't win one with the Lakers and the Bulls. But yeah, I can't see another. So it'd be either Bickerstaff, Mike Brown, or Joe.
Yeah,
like Ime's not gonna win it because the Rockets are talented. So they're if they're the 4 seed, that's not shocking. Would they give it to who the hell's the coach of the Nuggets now? It's not Mike Malone. They fired.
Oh, Pat Riley's done it for 3 different teams.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Who was the third?
Lakers, oh no, I lied.
Oh
no, I didn't lie. It is 3 different teams. It was Lakers, Knicks, Heat.
Oh right, you did coach the Knicks.
Yeah, so Pat Riley has won coach of the year for 3 different teams. Only person to do so.
If Mike Brown wasn't coaching the Knicks, I would be rooting like hell for him actually, because that'd be pretty cool. The dude who's been fired for like no reason several times to just win it everywhere he goes. And then I would be, after he wins coach of the year, I'd be 100% rooting for him to get fired so he can go win it with a 4th team. That'd be
the day after.
Yeah.
It
did happen to Dwayne Casey with the Pistons, or with the Raptors. He won coach of the year, then they canned his ass, and then he got hired by the Pistons.
And then they canned his ass
because they were awful. They gave him some grace. They did not meet expectations there. But also they were terrible, so I don't know what they wanted.
The only person to be a 3-time coach of the year and do it all with 1 team is Popovich. Everybody else has moved around, and it's at least been 2 different teams, but Pop's the only person to ever do it every single time with the same team.
And Joe didn't win it 2 years ago, right?
No, Joe has not won.
Which I think is kind of ridiculous that he didn't win it like his first year, because that was not a favorable situation to be thrust into.
It wasn't, but also like he got blamed for a lot of it, which was dumb. And I understand there were growing pains and there were mistakes along the way. But like, given the circumstances of having no assistant coaches and LOL, you have the job a few weeks before the season starts, good luck. And the fact that he managed what he managed was incredibly impressive. And he's only gotten better every single year.
Yeah, he's one of the best basketball minds out there. And it's crazy to think that if Ime got fired a month earlier, that
it would be
Joe Mazzulla would probably be coaching the Jazz right now, and Will Hardy would be the Celtics guy.
Yeah.
And that's not even a bad consolation prize, because Will Hardy, I think, is a great coach as well. It's just he's got nothing going for him in Utah. You guys see the video of him like laying into them?
Good for him.
Yeah. He and he's got an extension through like 2030. Like he's there for the long haul. And like, good on Danny Ainge for reading the room and being like, yeah, I haven't given you a good team, so I'm not going to fire you for us not being good. It's like, I'll fire you the second I finally find a way to trade Lauri Markkanen.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what they did with Brett Brown in Philadelphia, where like they kind of just like kept giving him leeway because of the process, and then as soon as they were actually good, they were like, okay, buddy, you're out of here.
Yeah. And it's yeah. So Joe should probably be like at least in the top 2.
How long is the acceptance speech over under?
Does he acknowledge the fact he won the award in his acceptance speech?
No.
Does he show up for the award? There's some.
He does, but the acceptance speech is just, I don't care, and then he leaves.
Yeah.
He's just, he doesn't even say anything. He just takes the trophy and walks off. He starts fucking like fighting whoever hands him the trophy. It's like, I want to go watch The Town. That man's insane. Didn't he say that he like puts it on as background noise?
Yeah, like he explained on some podcast that like it's not that, because they asked him about it, and he was like, well, people think I just like sit down and watch The Town every day. But like, I don't do that. It's just like at night when like I'm watching film or going over my notes or doing prep work, like I just kind of put the same movies on every time while I do that. So The Town and Whiplash are just constantly cycling through. It's like, you are a sick man, Jeff Azula.
Imagine being like his neighbor and that's all you're hearing every night at like 9 o'clock to midnight.
Is J.K. Simmons screaming at Miles Teller?
He's like, no, it's fine. Joe's just watching film. It's normal.
Not quite his tempo.
Yeah, that man's a lunatic. It's so great. I'm so glad that he ended up like not being an idiot. Like, because people really thought that he was going to be like, that was going to be like, timeouts was always going to be an issue. Now he'll just call timeouts, I think, just so people can't call him out for not using them. Like but it's also, I think to a degree, like the manner in which he uses them almost feels a little bit more calculated, because like against the Raptors, they scored 5 quick points to, I think, cut the lead to 2. And then it was like 14 seconds into the fourth quarter, and he's like, yeah, we'll have 2 timeouts for the rest of the quarter. We need one now. And like, he would have let that swell to like a 7-point deficit in 2022. And then been like, well, at this point, we're getting boat raced. I'm not going to use a timeout. I don't want to talk to you guys. But yeah, no, here we are.
No, I mean, there were people who wanted him fired after that Game 7 loss to Miami, which to me was always insane. But like, there were plenty of people who were like, oh, fire Mazzulla. He's not cut out for this. You know, go get Van Gundy, go get a veteran coach who knows how to win. It's like, no.
A coach that knows how to win, and regardless of which Van Gundy, that was a suggestion.
Yeah,
no, coach that knows how to win. Get Van Gundy.
Say, oh my God, The guy before Steve Kerr, who like Stephen A. Smith always begs for to get a job.
Luke Walton?
No.
No. Oh, Mark Jackson?
Yeah, Mark Jackson.
Oh! Imagine Mark Jackson and Jaren Duran in the same room. Anyway, moving on.
There's our baseball reference for the day.
Yeah. We have Drew Holiday and Lucas Giolito and Jaren Duran and Mark Jackson. Fucking
Dream
pairings. Depending on which side of never mind. Never mind. That's not necessary.
That's if we get our guest.
That's if we get our guest. Then we can talk about stuff like that. But for now, we talk about hoops and the Utah Mammoth. Who? How are they doing?
Didn't they just place? I feel like they just placed one of their main pieces on like IR or something.
Yeah, Logan Cooley.
Yeah. They're 14 and 14, so they're true neutral.
That feels right for a Utah franchise. They're 4th in the Central Division. Who's having a good year for them?
Probably Clayton Keller.
Clayton Keller leads the team in points. Logan Cooley's got 14 goals. And Carl Vermelka's having a pretty good year, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. It's not showing me. Oh, because I'm not looking at goaltending stats. Yeah, he's having a pretty good year. He's 12-8-2, 266 goals against average.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. He'd be the number 2 starter for the Red Sox. Anyway, back to the Celtics.
People are still triggered by the Red Sox right now.
Not me.
Not me.
Not me. Not yet, at least.
Yeah, exactly. Like I can be, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah. Well, the jury is still out on all that. But I will say, I again, every time I post Tristan Casas highlights, it is just a cesspool, and that's why I'm going to continue to post them.
Do you mute the comments? Because I feel like that's a dark place right now. The comments under those posts.
No, I just love when people will be like 4th place in the AL East first baseman. It's like, no, actually, no, because it's actually usually been 5th. But that's beside the point. Actually, that's not true. 2023, they came in 3rd. Let's grow up. Or did they? No, they came in 5th in 2023. I don't remember. Every year is the same year. But that's anyway. Back to the Celtics. We don't need to go down the Red Sox rabbit hole. I just talked for an hour and 40 minutes about them.
And people thought they clicked on this podcast to get away. Little did they know.
Little did they know that we're still going to talk about him. I did mention on the Pesky report that if the Sox made a move while we were talking about the Celtics, that it would end up being cut and then put on the end of the episode as just an extended version of the show. So if the Red Sox pod ends up being over 2 hours, you'll know the Red Sox traded for Ketel Marte or re-sign Bregman. Anyway, back to the C's. Anything we haven't covered from these 3 games this past week that is kind of pressing, or do we want to kind of get into the next couple? This will be our first 2-game stretch, I think, in between recordings. Usually we have at least 3 games to talk about, and we only get 2 this time.
The schedule makers hate us.
But you know what that means for next week? Extra Mammoth talk is what's going to have to.
Yes. I might make a reappearance at TD Garden for the Pistons game. I might.
What date is that?
Monday the 15th. Are you going to be back in the Northeast for that day?
I'll be back 2 days later.
Oh, that's tragic. Hey, they face the Heat on Friday, the 19th. Tickets are much more expensive. Like literally double.
Yeah, which is it just because it's a Friday? Because why is Detroit so much cheaper than Miami? Because Detroit's a better team. It must just be Monday versus Friday.
Yeah. In I guess rivalry.
It's not a rivalry. It
It's
was
not.
a rivalry with LeBron. It wasn't a rivalry with that organization.
I would still say it was a rivalry with Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, fair. But like, yeah, it's never been with that team though. It's been with like individuals on the team, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but I still hate Tyler Hero.
I mean, yeah, I don't like Hero. I still see fucking Caleb Martin in my nightmares sometimes.
But he's not there anymore. So
no, I know, because the Dallas Mavericks are a terrible organization. But yeah, I still can't get over Caleb Martin in that series. Like, that was the dumbest thing I've ever witnessed.
You will never be able to convince me that if Tatum doesn't turn his ankle in Game 7, that the Celtics don't win that game by like 30. They were going to smoke the Heat. That was going to be like one of the most laughable Game 7s ever. Not quite to the degree of when Luka made Chris Paul hit a big 3 to cut the deficit to 42. But the Celtics were going to run Miami out of that gym Game 7. I'm like fully convinced of it. I mean, the Celtics still weren't they within 6 going into the fourth quarter? Like Derrick White had that flurry at the end of the third. Then I'm like, if we can get 90 seconds of top 5 Tatum in the fourth quarter, we're going to win that game. And then Jaylen Brown had 4 turnovers in the first 2 minutes and it was over. But I'm not trying to dwell. They got smoked by Denver, and the Celtics probably would have also gotten smoked by Denver.
Yeah. Everyone was getting smoked by Denver.
Yeah. Yeah. This was a question. Yeah, he is.
It's he's rapidly getting into that top 10 conversation. He needs a second ring, but it's he's just not human.
Yeah, this question actually, my buddy Jeremy asked me this. What was it? Whenever the Patriots played the Giants, so what was that, last Monday?
Yeah.
I was over at his house, and he goes, where if Jokic wins another ring at any point, but this year he wins MVP as well, where are you putting him, not just for all-time centers, but all-time period?
He's immediately top 10, and you're approaching 5. I don't know if he's all the way there at 5, because generally to be in that conversation, you need at least 3 or 4, but he's definitely top 10.
Yeah, I had him on somewhere between the 8 and 12 range. Yeah. Just because I still think there's a degree. I mean, he's been in the league for 11 years, but I do think there's a degree of, there'll be 4 MVP awards and 2 runner-up finishes.
Have 6 in a row.
That's a good point. He at least should have won
the Embiid one.
The year Embiid won.
Yeah.
Last year, giving it to Shea, I was okay with it, although he averaged a triple-double as a center.
While shooting 50% from 3.
That was wild.
Yeah, he was 50. He shot 42% from 3 last year. But on 5 attempts a game as a
center,
6'11" big, he's a freak. And he's leading the league in assists and rebounds this year and scoring 29 a game. Yeah, I think now that I'm looking at I hadn't been looking at his stats. I just had assumed he was the best player in the game. I mean, correct. But looking at the season he is having, he's averaging 22, 11, and 7 for his career.
Yeah.
Even if he grifts himself into a pass first big as he gets older just to stat pad assists, there is a non-zero chance that he could average a triple-double for his career.
Yeah, it's on the table. It's not likely, but it's on the table. Which is
I think I'd probably put him in the probably 8th all time.
Yeah,
if he wins another ring and the MVP, and if he wins Finals MVP, which he, let's face it, would if the Nuggets were to win it all.
Respect Cam Johnson.
No. I will not. No, I like Cam, but no. Where are you putting him, Jamie? Where are you thinking?
I'd say probably 8, at least top 10. Probably it's 8 or 7.
Yeah, he's a freak. And yeah, dare he gets to a third ring.
Yeah, then you're approaching that top 5.
Top 5.
And that would put him, so you'd be putting him over Shaq at that point, or do you still have Shaq over him? Like, where do you have Shaq in all this? Like, I still think Shaq is the number 1 center ever, at least in my opinion, just because I'm
on the Celtics podcast putting Shaq over Russell.
That's bold.
That's bold.
Man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Bill. RIP to a legend, but I'm putting Shaq at number 1, and then Bill 2. Wilt
I have
3.
Russell then Shaq.
Sorry, not Wilt 3. Kareem 3, and then Wilt 4, and then Jokic 5. For centers, like
for center, yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I'd go Russell, Shaq, Hakeem, Kareem, Wilt.
I feel like the discussion for like the best bigs ever is almost more interesting than the like best players ever.
Yeah.
Because there are some freaks. Like I just named 5 centers and I didn't even name Hakeem.
Right.
And I don't even think it's ridiculous to have him outside the top 5 given the guys I named.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And like you could make an argument that Jokic has already surpassed Hakeem, but I probably wouldn't make that case yet, at least not until that second ring or 4th MVP is acquired. Crazy. There's been some good ass centers in this league. But I don't know. Okay, so this is another question. Sorry that we're not even talking about the season anymore. Although I guess in a
way it is.
Yeah, and the peek behind the curtain sort of into that world, Tim Duncan could have been a Celtic. I wasn't alive when that happened, so it doesn't hurt me as much to talk about. But wondering, where do you have Tim Duncan all time? Because that
number 4.
You have him as the number 4 player ever.
Yeah, I go Jordan, Russell, LeBron, Duncan.
Well, you don't even have LeBron number 2. I love that. That is so Celtics pod pilled by you. I love that. Way to bring back our viewers after I put Bill as the number 3 or number 2 center of all time. Yeah, Timmy.
I go 4 too.
It's so tough.
5 rings across 3 different decades while being the best player every time is so
Yeah, it is. And like the guys he beat
right
in these finals too is crazy. Like he
especially in the Western Conference playoffs on the way there as well. Like gauntlets.
That's a good point. Like, and he had to endure not Celtic Shaq, it's the Lakers Shaq.
Yeah.
Nobody had to endure. Hey, they were like a 55 win pace team.
They were
Shaq playing. Like Shaq on the Celtics worked when he actually was physically capable of playing basketball.
Which was for about 10 minutes.
But God, were those 10 minutes beautiful. Him and Rondo was like poetry. They just loved throwing the ball at the rim, and somehow Shaq was able to dunk still, like get off the ground. He was so fun as a Celtic. Makes me sad. Him and Rashid were both like goats of mine that just if only they could have played out their contract with the team, because both of them signed 2-year deals and retired after year 1.
Yeah.
I loved Rashid. That hurt me when he retired. That hurt 10-year-old Jordan
fit as well. Like you couldn't like dream of a better fit into that team.
Oh, could you imagine Sheed on this Celtics team?
Oh, he'd be an animal.
Him and Joe. Oh my God. Him and a Missoula ball offense, he'd probably win MVP. Like he'd take like 14 threes a game and get ejected every single game. And it would be beautiful. And he'd win MVP.
The sound bites would be great.
Oh my God, the quotes. Oh my God. I really wish that she came into the league now. That'd be so sick.
He'd be regarded as an even better player in today's NBA than he was in his time.
If he was allowed unlimited technical fouls, he probably would have been like a top 10 player ever. Like, that dude was a freak. I wish there's more of an archive for Rasheed Wallace Celtics highlights, because I vividly remember him being way better than he actually was with the Celtics. Because I remember looking back at his numbers and being appalled that he only averaged 9 a game and apparently only shot 28% from 3. That's just wrong. I'm sorry, Basketball Reference, you're wrong. Easily a 36% 3-point shooter. Ball don't lie. He also defended his ass off with the C's.
Yeah.
And apparently Dirty 30 is one of his nicknames. All right.
Okay.
Him being a Knick is pretty funny too. Like, after all that, he ended up on the Knicks.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah. Him and Marcus Camby in the Unction. I think Jason Kidd was on that team too. There was an old-ass Knicks team, and they somehow won 54 games.
It was the power of the Unk.
Dude, oh my God. They had 6 guys that were 35 or older.
Yeah, they had Prigioni, they had Kenyon Martin, they had Kurt Thomas. That's an old team.
Yeah, they had Jason Kidd, Rasheed, Camby. Oh my God. Like, Melo was one of the babies. He was 28.
Prigioni was a 35-year-old rookie that year.
Just 35-year-old
one
rookie?
guy.
Yeah.
They had one guy under 27. It was Iman Shumpert.
Imagine being Iman Shumpert as the one young guy on that team. No wonder that team was so dysfunctional. Like, look at that locker room.
Yeah, that is an insane.
Like, imagine being Tyson Chandler
culture
in that locker room. You're looking around like, what are all these fucking weirdos doing? I just block shots and play like a madman. I loved Tyson Chandler. Like, what a player. Like, prime Tyson Chandler on the Celtics. Prime Tyson Chandler on this Celtics team, they're winning the championship.
Yeah. He was first team all defense, but 13th in defensive player of the year voting that year.
That's insane.
That is ridiculous. They had 3 centers on that roster that would probably be the best center on this Celtics team. Kenyon Martin was probably not better than Nemi.
Yeah, not at that point of his career anyway.
Yeah. Tyson Chandler, though. What a dog he was.
No, he was such a great player.
I want to talk about a dude who's Hall of Pretty Good. If they made one for the NBA, it'd be like everybody that's ever played basketball, because if you're very good, you're in the Hall of Fame.
You're not wrong.
But yeah, Tyson Chandler, man. Demon. Sneaky Houston Rocket in 2020. Wild. 19 years in the league. He played 19 years in the league. Jesus Christ. Anyway. Tickets for the Celtics Bucks game tomorrow are as low as $11. Anybody want to take a trip to fucking Milwaukee?
If I didn't have work on Friday, I'd be like, you know what? Let's run it. Like,
I'll start the drive right now. Screw it for $11.
Yeah, $11. I mean,
$11
we make up the difference in gas. $11, yeah. $10 by the end of the game because Giannis is a fucking Nick. But
and oh my God, the tweet I sent you earlier, Rich Paul is pushing your Atlanta Hawks narrative.
Yeah, that's a good point. Jalen, I mean, like, honestly, so I'm not as much of a sicko when it comes to basketball, like, rosters, as I am with baseball. So, like, I can formulate a trade package that makes some sense in baseball. In basketball, I just be matching salaries, and I'm like, yeah, that works. But the Jalen Johnson one, I'm like, that makes a shit ton of sense, and like, I can see an avenue where the Hawks think that that's a good idea. But I don't know. Like, I feel like also, how old's Giannis? I mean, he's not old. He's like 31, right?
Yes, around there.
I don't know. Jalen Johnson's a freak. That dude be getting triple doubles like nightly now. He's got like 3 in the last 4 games or something.
Yeah.
He's a beast. But yeah, then he's averaging 23, 10, and 8. 23, 11, and 8 this year on 50, 40, 80 splits. And
he
he's
was the 20th
24.
overall pick. Sometimes you get those guys in the 20s.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, and he's not a center, so
yeah,
you go get your athletic wings and develop a shot. I think that also might be why it's a lot easier to just draft those guys in like that range of the draft, because it's like a lot of those guys would be top 10 picks if they could shoot. And you end up they can't shoot, or at least not consistently, so they fall in the draft, or they're old. Although, I mean, Jalen Johnson's wasn't an old rookie, right? He was 20, so it's not like he was of like a 4-year college guy, but yeah. So who knows? We shall see. But yeah. Where are we sitting when we record next week? The Celtics are right now 15-9 with games against the Bucks and the Pistons. What are we thinking, Jack?
I'll say 17-9. I know eventually this win streak's going to have to come to an end, but Milwaukee's in a tailspin right now. They seem quite dysfunctional. They're not winning a lot of games. There were only 2 wins in the past 2 weeks. They beat the Pistons and then they beat Brooklyn, which Brooklyn's not even a real team. They're losing basically every game they play at the moment. I don't fear them, which of course means they're going to blow us out. But I'm not worried about that Milwaukee game tomorrow night. I think Celtics are going to win, barring weirdness. And then Monday, obviously Detroit's good, but we lost to them in one game. We beat them in another game. So we're 1-1 with Detroit this season. I think we're going to take it. It's at TD. I think if that was on the road, I might lean Detroit. But I think in Boston, I think crowd for all $44 it takes will be really into it. And they're going to keep this win streak going and be 17-9.
I think if they win tomorrow, I'm going to go on Monday and jinx the winning streak, just so you're wrong. Jamie, what do you think?
I think 2-0. I feel like if the Pistons game was on the road, I'd say 1-1, but I'm going to go 2-0. Keep the unbeaten streak alive.
Yeah, I'll make it universal. I think 2-0 as well. I really don't. I don't fear the Pistons on the road. I still think there's some demons with a young team coming into TD Garden and beating the Celtics, and we saw that. Like they mounted like that kind of late comeback against them the last time they came to Boston, but then the ghost of Red Auerbach and Bill Russell made Cade Cunningham forget how to play basketball in the clutch. So I just think the way the Celtics are playing right now, they're going to be very difficult to beat at home. And yeah, and like you guys said, the Bucks they're not really a threat at this point. Although Giannis is going to, or is Giannis even healthy? Wasn't he hurt?
I think he is. He was hurt for a little, but I think he's back, but it hasn't really affected their performance.
Yeah, but if he's not playing, it doesn't look like he's out. So yeah, he played. He actually hasn't played. He only played 3 minutes on December 3rd. That was the last game he played.
Okay.
So
then yeah,
if Giannis is out, that's
yeah. And I know Kevin Porter's playing really well, which sucks because Kevin Porter is a bad person. But he's been really putting the ball in the net, but they're losing. So it might just be empty points because no one else is scoring on that team, especially without Giannis. But don't like that guy. The NBA has the most laissez-faire react. They have arguably an even worse domestic violence record than the NFL. At least the NFL will actually pretend they care and then slap you with a 3-game suspension and make it all blow over. The NBA, they're just come on in, guys. Keep with Kevin Porter and Miles Bridges. It's they just keep enabling this shit. And I wish they didn't, because I don't want to watch those guys, especially when they're getting max contracts.
Yeah, they like extra didn't care when Miles Bridges was going through his shit. Like Jackson Hayes, another guy. Like, and that like that video was, oh my god.
Right.
It's just that shit's insane. I'm not to then completely switch off that topic, but nothing about Giannis's injury. No updates on his injury, so no idea if he's playing tomorrow.
It's probably just at this point if he feels like it, which like.
Yeah, I honestly think he's I don't want to say he's quiet quitting, but I think he's like really trying to facilitate his way out of there without like he respects the Bucks organization enough to know that they need to rebuild, and him playing gives them the best chance of winning. So him sitting out until they can trade him. But I also think he wants to have like that kind of swan song game in Milwaukee, and to do it against Boston would probably be pretty nice. I mean, we're 2 months plus away from him getting dealt, but that's beside the point. But no updates on him playing tomorrow or not. So I'm going to assume he is and still say the Celtics win because the Bucks are terrible. Oh shit, there was one more thing I wanted to bring up. Oh, you guys see that Tatum's playing one-on-one in practice?
I did.
Yeah.
He looks good. I'm starting to believe that we're talking like late January timetable now.
I will volunteer to be his practice dummy if that's what it takes.
I'll board for him. I don't give a shit. I've done it for I didn't do it for Isaiah Thomas, but I did play pickup with Isaiah Thomas once.
Because he went to Emerson, right? Didn't he go to Emerson gyms?
Yeah. I think he called it the worst run of basketball he's ever been a part of. But like,
he meant you.
What?
He meant you specifically.
Yeah. I only took one shot in that run, okay? I did airball it. But when we were shooting for teams, I was in front of him in line and swished my free throw, so fuck that. But yeah, that Emerson run was diabolical. I feel so bad for him that he had to endure that. But then he only played like 9 minutes in the game with Denver, so like he played more minutes against Emerson college students than he did the Boston Celtics in his return to Boston. Crazy. And my buddy Kyle clamped him. He went 0 for 1 shooting against him.
Shout out Kyle.
Kyle. Jamie knows Kyle.
Sure.
Could use some athletic wings.
Could. I'll let him know. I will let him know. But any final thoughts?
Boys looking good.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad I didn't get Charlie McAvoy on. He left in between the second and third period.
We still got time. There's still plenty of time.
Yeah, I hope he attends another game. It is funny because when I was there, he was in a suite like right behind us pretty much, like a little to the right. And like I looked back, I'm like, is that Charlie McAvoy? And then he started drinking water really weird. And I'm like, that has to be Charlie McAvoy because his mouth is very messed up at the moment.
Like, that's the man who took a puck to the face.
Yeah, because I'm like, that's not how a normal human being drinks water.
He's returned to practice though, right? I mean, he's in non-contact
with the team as of this week. So hopefully he can get back out there soon. He seemed very happy once he had ice cream though. Like it seemed like that helped him.
Makes sense. I mean, that's the eternal medicine right there.
Yeah.
Bruins don't suck.
They don't.
Which is nice. They have not lost in overtime yet.
No.
They are the only team in the NHL that hasn't lost in overtime yet.
Swayman's been way better this year compared to last year, which is nice because there was so much like backlash after the extension, and then he was kind of not bad last year, but incredibly underwhelming. So it's nice to see him like playing to the level we kind of thought he would last year.
Geeky's the new McDavid because he scores like every game.
See, before the season, I said to one of my friends, Geeky's going to have 200 goals this season, like completely.
He might.
And like now I'm like, he could. It's not impossible.
He's got what? He's 20. Does he still lead the league?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Which
gonna
is
win
crazy
the
if you
fucking
think of
Rocket
like
Richard.
Pasternak only has 13 or whatever Pasternak has.
It's 11. But they are only separated by 1 point. As somebody, and I know this again, I know this is a Celtics pod, so us talking about the Bruins is like, what the fuck are you guys doing here? But we need to talk a little bit, not necessarily on the show, but like people need to give Don Sweeney some credit for the heater he went on last deadline.
Yeah.
True.
Like Fraser Minton is a demon. I love him. And Murat Husnidov, he's okay, but I just love saying his name. And I love the fact that I know how to say his name, especially. Want to talk about a jersey that I want to buy? That one. Just the fact his fucking name is Murat. That is awesome.
Hey, hockey, you get some fun names with hockey. Some of them are fucked up, but
I'm not surprised to see that Nikita Zadorov leads the team in penalty minutes by a lot.
I love him.
was that the game you chugged a beer at? Was that the game you were at, or was that a different one? Because he was at one with Pasternak a couple days ago.
Oh no, I wasn't at the Celtics game. I was at a BU hockey game. So McAvoy was there because McAvoy went to BU. And so he was probably just there. It was the same night though that Pasta and Zadorov and like some of those guys were at the Celtics.
Wonder who will be at the Celtics Pistons game on Monday.
Drake May and Will Campbell again.
Could you imagine? They just show up every game. I am Drake May lover. That's how we're going to find out, because I conveniently am at every Celtics game Drake May attends. What's your favorite and Michael May Bake Miss episode so far?
I'm behind.
I am behind as well. I'm too addicted to binge watching, so I'm waiting for it to be at 14 days so I can watch all of them back to back to back times 14.
But I do think it's fun though. Even though I do think like some of the comments, like some of them are funny, but I think the ones like directly being like Giselle would never do this. It's like I feel like that's like a little weird for her to like read those ones. Like the ones that are about Drake and stuff, I think like those are funny and harmless and cute, but like I think like the like, oh, Giselle didn't make us cookies. Like it's like I feel like that's kind of weird.
That is a little weird. I love the comments that refer to Drake May as our husband.
Yeah, like that's cute. That's harmless. Like I think that's funny. But like
we're calling her First Lady of New England.
Yeah. Queen of the North.
It's great. It's great. Anyway.
That's how you get to an hour right there.
Yeah. Got to an hour and 8 minutes. I have been recording almost nonstop for 3 hours.
And the second you hit stop, Sox news is gonna break.
Probably.
Marte trade is dropping.
Probably. People have just caught on to the fact that the last Tristan Casas highlight I dropped was him homering off Tarek Skubal. So
soon to be teammates.
But which team will they be teammates on?
Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, hopefully. One can only hope. Now imagine that's the trade that breaks the second I hit end.
That's like a 3-hour episode right there. You'll be recording.
I will literally call out of work.
Yeah, I don't. Never mind. This isn't a Sox podcast. I'm not going to go into it. But like,
okay, we're past an hour. It's a safe place.
If the people who are like, I don't want to trade that much for a rental, it's Tarek Skubal.
Yeah.
Like you process that, right? Like
Him and Crochet would be absurd.
It's the best pitcher in baseball. Like it's not like, oh, he's you have to give up a lot to get
not Freddie Peralta.
Yeah, like you're the Red Sox. Like you can afford to match any offer if Boris wants to take this thing to free agency. Like you like to pretend you're poor sometimes, but you're not. And like just whatever number it takes. It's the same thing as with Mookie, where like Mookie was very adamant, I want to be here. I just want to go to free agency first. And the pandemic changed that. But like you could have just, kept Mookie for whatever dollar amount it took because he wanted to be here. But they were too afraid of what that dollar amount would be, and they sent him back. It's like, you're the Red Sox. sign the best pitcher in baseball when you have either the second or third best pitcher in baseball already, and let's get nuts.
Yeah, let's get ridiculous. We can talk about that more after we hit end on this and the trade actually goes down. That'll do it for this edition of the Hour Back Report. Again, Celtics with games against the Bucks and the Pistons between our episodes. Hopefully, according to all three of us, they'll be 17-9 when we reconvene next week. But for Jack and Jamie, I'm Jordan. Until next time, peace out and go Seas.
We did it. We did it!